Alright, we got a fun one today, guys. So I guess like the premise of this video, in general, I think my weakest link when it comes to creating music would be my bass lines, right? Like normally they're okay, but I think like they could be a lot better. Anyways, a big discussion in music, I think usually is like, what do you start with? Not really for me, because it's always guitar, because that's like what the base of like a lot of my songs are, because that's like what I'm just the most proficient in. But like especially in like other genres, like I'll watch like I watched this like Metro Boomin video where he was like, do you start with the drums or the melody? Honestly, I don't even remember what his answer was. Either way, today we're gonna start with a pretty simple guitar riff. I've got like a lot of demos, so I think we're going to use one of those demos. Something, it doesn't even matter what the guitar is, and then I really want to focus on the bass. We're going to try a bunch of different bass lines, and I want to see how these different bass lines kind of like make the song feel different, right? Before I start, like and sub, or the Tooth Fairy's coming for you. And honestly, if you ask me, I think the Tooth Fairy is pretty scary. Like, I know she's like, the kids want her to come because she gives her money, but it's like, when you think about it, like, she's stealing your teeth. What is she using all these teeth for? It's got to be something sus, right? It can't just be like she's taking these teeth to like do something normal with them, right? It's teeth. And for money, like, that, something's not right. And if you don't want her at your doorstep, you should like and sub right now. All right, so we got our track. We got guitar and we got bassist, and then I called the song Bassist. Don't ask me why, but that's what stuck. So we got bassist. Anyways, like I said, I'm just gonna record any random demo I have. The main focus of this is not the guitar, so I'm just gonna cook up whatever, right? Alright, so now that I got that down, I think it's time to whip out old Betsy, so let's get her out. So what I'm going to do is, as it's repeating, play different stuff, see what I like. Honestly, in terms of music theory, when it comes to me making music, it's always in the back of my head, and like sometimes I'll fall back on it, but a majority of the time, like I'll just repeat, I'll literally just loop whatever the first thing I made, and then just like play stuff until I like something. So yeah, we're just doing that. So I also did want to show some like juxtaposition. So I'm going to record two bass lines. One's going to be the usual way, right? Where I just like follow the root and I don't really go out of that like box range or whatever. But for the second one, I did want to try to experiment a little bit and see what I like better. Maybe it is better to experiment. Honestly, maybe there's a chance that like the one just following the root sounds better too. But we're going to record both and see which one is better. So let's start with the boring one where we're just following the root. I'm going to show you how to make a banger steak. I hope you're ready. This is kind of like a part 2 almost, because this is the exact same steak I bought in my previous video. One thing I didn't realize about this bougie ass Wegmans steak is that it's actually bison. It's a bison strip loin. I'm not sure if the bison is going to be any different than like a normal one, so I guess we'll see later. I'm doing like a boy, like this is literally, I'm going to have just steak for dinner. I feel like my mother would be upset at that. So my challenge is to try to make a carb in a green. Carb, I think I'm just going to do pasta. For a green, I actually have no idea. No, I actually did have a friend who texted me after the video, and she was like, Mateo, where the fuck are the greens in your grocery haul? There wasn't one vegetable, and then I watched it back and I realized there wasn't one vegetable. A lot of red 40 though. Those Captain Crunch berries, dude. Alright, so the way I learned, the first thing I always have to do when making a good steak is to pat it completely dry. So we're gonna do that first. I feel like I was in some argument, but like, yeah, I don't know. The way I was taught, this bad boy is gonna be completely dry. Okay, so this is a big one. In my personal opinion, all you need is a shit ton of pepper and a shit ton of salt. So we're gonna cover this bad boy in both of those. Again, I feel like my mother, she saw it. Dude, if she watched this video, she'd have a fucking heart attack. I'm about to be a fucking adult, man, dude. I can have a green with this, but I don't know what I would make, dude, like Salt Bae. I feel like I heard a lot of like bad stuff about him, but I don't remember. I never like cared enough to like look into it. It was something about the World Cup and people didn't like him, which now that makes me feel sad. Like it's all right. I like you, Salt Bae, if you're watching this. All right, so if you're my doctor, we have good news and bad news. I guess the good news is that I will be having a fruit. I'm gonna make pasta, and I will actually have a fruit. The bad news is it's strawberries, and I'm putting Nutella on them. We got some goodies in here. I think I'm gonna do like half of this. I don't want too much pasta. We got this bad boy up. I want to put some salt in her. Whenever you're making pasta, you always want to salt your pasta, like the ocean. So we're gonna do that real quick. Cheers, boys. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking a lot about my grocery run. I even posted on TikTok. And I was thinking about how, like, Wegmans or ShopRite, the answer is Costco. Because there's a Costco where I work, and the food court is busted, right? So I was like, I think it's incredibly stupid how you have to sneak in. If you wanna get food at Costco, you have to sneak in. Anyways, my point is, the food court is busted, and I want food. You know, I'm a hungry guy. And it's like, I want your business, dude. I want to give you money. Why are you not letting me in? So the game plan here is I'm going to get this thing really hot, and then we're going to put just a little bit of olive oil. Not a lot, just a little bit. You put the steak down, I think 4 minutes aside, honestly. All right, so if my doctor wasn't having a heart attack already, we're going to use 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, so maybe that's an upside. Yeah, we're gonna butter baste it after 4 minutes each side, I've decided. And then, you know the drill. Gotta let it rest for probably 5 minutes. Nice healthy 2 tablespoons. So this guy's about bubbling, so we're gonna put in. We'll see what the hand decides. Alright, the hand has decided. You know, I call these salad tongs, but I don't think that's what they're called. So I'm about to use them for steak. Extra virgin. How I like my olive oil. I'm sure it's expensive. Okay. We're gonna try for 4 minutes. I usually do 3.5, but I do think that this guy is gonna wanna have 4. It's pretty thick. Alright guys, so unfortunately I am a human being and made a mistake.
Mark, look, I made a steak.
A steak?
Yes.
We are all out of garlic, so I have some organic oregano, garlic powder. Now this seems very sinful, but I don't know, it's the same shit, dude. It's just fucking grind it up. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this. We're gonna give that another 4 minutes. This is 2 tablespoons. Alright, so as promised, I'm going to let that guy rest for a little bit. Let's strain this pasta though. I am quite hungry. Alright, so last step, when you're cutting steak, you want to cut against the grain. It's very hard to tell, but it's actually right for it. It's hard to tell. But that's good. I think the grain's going this way. So I'm just going to try to cut like diagonal. Yeah, this thing has a good sear. It's probably like using the olive oil. Not too shabby. Look at that. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. So first thoughts, like, honestly, like, following the route, like that didn't even sound bad. It was a nice accent. But however, I do want the bass to stick out, right? So we're gonna try to get a little more experimental. Like that. Like, I think a big part of playing bass is like you're still following the it's not like I'm completely going off the tracks, right? Like I'm still like trying to follow the route. But I think something that I'm trying to improve on here is like I'm doing that, but it's not boring. Like I can do that and not be like it could be a little bit more fun than that, right? My point with that is kind of like I'm trying to like do all that fun stuff like down here, but like I still gotta follow the root note, right? I don't know. I do like that first part. I do like that. Also, another thing that I didn't really mention, but this is a fretless bass, so I got a lot of room to slide, right? So I do want to take advantage of that too. I think that's what makes it sound really cool. So see, that's another thing. That was supposed to be a C. That's the third. 1, 2, 3. So if that's the third, I think that's allowed. I don't think there's rules in music. So maybe I don't even have to land on the root. Let me try that. I'm kind of conflicted. We're for sure doing the first part. I like the first part until we get to that A. All right, so I think I actually did find something I'm pretty happy with. So let's see how it sounds. Alrighty, children. What did we learn? Honestly, like on a real note, I think I did learn something. Because I think, like I said before, I do usually, my strategy when writing these bass lines is follow the root, maybe do the fifth or whatever. But I'm realizing like you can have a lot more fun with these bass lines, right? I was saying before, like there's no rules in music, right? And I'm a big believer in that. However, like there kind of are rules. Like I don't know. You still kind of gotta follow like the root note a little bit, because as a bass, you gotta be like that. I don't know. It's kind of like the glue. It's kind of holding together the entire composition, in my opinion. Kind of depends on the song, but usually it is. Either way, hope you enjoyed. You know the drill. Like, sub. I think I'm doing videos every Wednesday. This should come out Wednesday. And TikToks, whenever. Usually daily. If I'm feeling lazy, then not daily. But, you know. And also those guitar tutorials. I know, like, on the TikTok, I'm like, oh, if you want to see the tutorial, go to the YouTube channel. And then there's fucking like 2 of them. And they both kind of suck. Either way, I'm gonna poop out a bunch more of those. Those aren't that hard to make, in all honesty, so I can definitely get out a bunch of those. If you guys do have any recommendations for a video idea, if you have any recommendations for a song you want to hear, comment it down below. Also comment down below your favorite cheese. Mine is this Italian one that I don't remember what it's called, but it's very nutty and it looks like mozzarella and it goes really good on crackers and Cheez-Its. Anyways, that's all. See ya.